Hey there, and welcome to our latest episode of What's on the Horizon. I'm Lori Sharonbrock here with Chris Schucker. Um, so I've worked with you guys in capacity with a business that I own. And I'm going to be honest, I don't consider myself a super like I know enough to be dangerous.
Yeah. You're like
And
the average person.
right, like I feel like that's probably how a lot of people are. And so when it comes to like thinking about home technology, like honestly, it sort of scares me a little bit because it feels overwhelming, like I'm too dumb to know what's happening,
Yeah,
which probably isn't true, but I'd feel that way.
sure.
So like if I'm the homeowner, how much do I really need to be involved with that design process?
I would say the answer is pretty much in line with it's directly related to how much they care about the outcome. The more they're involved, at least under new construction scenarios, the more they're involved with us or whoever might be making decisions on their behalf to work with us. Sometimes we don't work directly with the homeowner. We're often brought in by architects or interior
Sure.
designers or general contractors, and they're acting on behalf of the homeowner. And as long as they have a good idea of what the homeowner wants, then they can act as a representative, and that works well. But the more we're involved with a key decision maker, hopefully the homeowner, the better the outcome of the system is. And I had a great example. Actually, recently we were doing what's referred to as an electrical walkthrough on a new construction home, and we were discussing lighting control, and there was some back and forth discussion about the practicality of adding a certain feature to the house. And there were some points back and forth to the benefit and the disadvantage. And what I do in those scenarios is if the discussion is happening, I stay on the outside. I don't want to interject. I don't want to overrule. I don't want to be overbearing. I want to hear everybody's opinion. And nobody's wrong in these situations or these discussions. They're just offering their firsthand experience when it comes to, at least in this particular situation. And the homeowner in this particular instance actually chose to go a different route than I thought would be what I thought they actually wanted, were they to have more information. And so when they came to that decision, I did the little awkward, like, if I can just interject, I want to offer, an additional thought here. And it was basically around some of the thoughts and ideas they had expressed earlier about other rooms with similar situations. And after hearing that and getting some input and being involved in the process, they were like, "Oh, yeah, actually, that makes a lot of sense. I do want this, and here's why." And had they not been there and not been involved in the electrical walkthrough, and it was just interior designers or architects, someone would have made a decision on their behalf with the proper intentions, right? And it wouldn't have been what they wanted, right? So by them being there and being willing to be heard and have opinions weighed and some alternating ideas passed around, they're getting what they want, and all of the options were put in front of them. And so it really is the best thing when they can be involved to that level.
Yeah, and I think we kind of talked about this in an earlier or other video that sometimes they don't know what they want until they talk about it.
Yeah.
And we've talked about kind of the creativity you guys have with saying, okay, what's the actual problem you're having? And then being able to think out of the box as a way to solve it. Because you guys have a lot of different solutions.
Yeah.
Not everything is just this is how it is, right?
So two more instances of that from this project. And we were walking through, and there was a television getting installed into a relatively small room, and the TV had to go above a fireplace. And the interior designer had a great recommendation. She said, "Well, they make these pull-down mounts you can put above a fireplace." And then she said, "But it actually kind of prevents me from using it more because it feels a burden, or it's annoying for me to constantly have to pull the TV down or turn the fireplace off if I want to watch TV." And so I offered input that there's a motorized version to this mount where the TV can, when they go to pick up their Control 4 remote to use it like they're going to do anyways, the TV just comes down and goes to a preset position. And of course, you have to make sure the fireplace is off, or at least extends beyond a safe distance. And by having this iterative process of problem solving by the entire team, we were able to come up with an elegant solution to that. And then in addition to that, another instance we were talking about, they wanted lights in a certain area, but they had this really cool design of kind of a barreled archway ceiling in this space. And they didn't want the footprint of what's referred to as a super slope light. It tends to just has like an appeal visually that wasn't desired. And we are more and more getting involved with lighting design and recommending fixtures and assisting in that side of projects. And we made the recommendation of a specific light fixture, basically a light fixture that goes into a 4-inch or a 6-inch standard recessed can. And the light fixture, it actually pivots and adjusts internally. And so because of how high it was on the ceiling and with the pivot in the bulb, we were able to provide them with a solution to lighting the space that they wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And so by, again, everybody being involved, especially the homeowner, we collaboratively came up with a really elegant solution.
Yeah, I think again, that's what's great about working with you guys is your ability to just talk regularly with a homeowner, not getting overly technical, but saying like, what are we actually trying to do
What's the
here?
problem? Yeah.
And knowing that there probably is a solution if you just think hard enough about it, that there isn't a lot that's out of
Right.
reach as a homeowner.
Yep.
So it's important to be part of that
Yeah.
process. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the team here. And we'll see you guys next episode.